Hi, it's Jane from craftwithjane.co.uk, and today I'm bringing you a double Z fold fancy fold card. So it's quite a cute one, isn't it? It's a thank you card, and I've paired it with this beautiful designer series paper and some butterflies. I just thought it was really cute. I've covered the back of my envelope flap. I tend to do that with some of the designer series paper to match as well. I just like a decorated envelope and I like a decorated card. So I'll show you how I made this. So I'm going to be doing this one in metric, so I'll be doing it on my trimmer because it's got metric measurements and the score tool as well, but I will convert this into inches, and you just need to follow the links below to my blog to see it in inches. So the designer series paper that I've used for this is from the new annual catalogue, and it's called Texture Chic, and it is a specialty paper and it is beautiful. So we've got this lovely gold running through it, and there's some beautiful coordinating patterns on the back as well, and it's just lovely. It's got greens and yellows and oranges, and look at that, it's beautiful. I love this one with the snowflakes on the back. I'll be using that in a project for sure. And you can see lovely colours, and I love this gold shimmer all the way through. So I have picked up on the gold, and I've used some gold cardstock for the butterflies on my card. There you go, that's the designer series paper. So my cardstock measures 29.6 centimetres by 10.5, which is pretty standard for a pretty standard for UK card bases. And I've already pre-scored it, sorry, I jumped ahead. So I've scored it at 7.4 just here, and I have scored it at 14.8, which is the centre mark just here. And then I have already made the fold. So I originally folded it as if it was a top, sort of an opening card, and then I folded it the other way and burnished it with my bone folder, just like that. So that is the main part of the card, and then the inserted double Z folds bit is 26 centimetres by 7.5, and I've scored this one at 7.5 and 15. So I went to 7.5 and scored, and then at 15 and scored, and then I burnished just along there. So these are the two pieces that make up the card, and you can see that they're going to look like that, and then they will open up like that, and that will create the Z fold. So for the designer series paper here, I have cut it down to 14.3 by 10.1, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of here, and I'm going to glue it into place. So I'll just put some liquid glue on, just like that. So because I send cards in the UK, mainly to UK recipients, I tend to make them UK sizes or European sizes. I think it's mainly the size that the most of the world uses outside of America and Canada. I actually don't know what Canada uses. I wonder if they use American letter or whether they use international A4. So I'm just trying to line this up. I'm just looking at it front on to make sure I've got it as lined up as I can. There we go, and I'll just press that firmly down. So then I wanted to use the same colour on the front, so when it closes it's sort of a continuous pattern, but I was going to use the opposite side of the pattern just on this piece here. So these layers I have cut to, these layers I have cut to size 10.1, so they're the same size that way, but 6.9 and 6.9, and I'm going to glue them on like that. So that's just the opposite side of the pattern. The nice thing about this paper is I feel like the pattern on the back really complements the pattern on the front. Sort of it's using the same colour scheme or their, you know, similar colour scheme, which is lovely. There we go, press that one down, and then we'll do the same on this one. And I don't tend to make lots of cards on the channel. I tend to do more 3D projects, but this is sort of a card, but with a 3D element, isn't it? So it kind of fits. There we go. But I do like to do a card every now and again. So, and one of my lovely customers who watches me on YouTube has asked me to kindly, so shout out to Tracy, who has asked me to make a few more cards on the video channel. So that's what I'm doing on my YouTube. Okay, so that's there. And then on this one, I'm going to use a piece of the designer series paper, but I'm going to use this side of it because when it sits at the front of the card, that will be showing. And then on the inner bit here, I will use that again, this side, and then I'll use a white piece of card here, and that's because I want to be able to write my little message to the recipient of the card. Now, you can actually put some white on the back and do your writing on the back if you've got a big message, but if it's just you know, thank you so much for, which is what this one will be, thank you so much for all you've done, love, Jane, then I can fit that quite nicely into this square. There we go. So I'll pop this one in, and I'm trying to leave a relatively equal border all the way around as best I can. This is quite simple. Once you've done your cutting, this is quite a simple card to sort of put together, really. It doesn't take too much effort, and yeah, I do like to have a few cards ready to go. I'll often make like a gift bag, or wrap my gifts in similar paper, or even just make a tag to go with a gift to match this, and then you can give it almost like a whole compliment. There we go. So that's that one, and they are going to sit like this once they are glued on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this front piece on here first, and then I'm going to, by eye, try and make it as equal as I can, possibly make it in this center element here. So I know that I can't glue past the halfway point, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue towards the third, just here. Okay, so I've only done about just over a third there, and that way I'm not going to glue where I'm not meant to. And then I'm going to use, sorry if you can see above me, I'm going to use the grid paper to try my best to centralize this. So I know that they've got 3 boxes that side, 3 boxes this side, there or thereabouts, and then I've got 2 and a bit there, 2 and a bit there. So I'm trying to use my grid paper as best I can to help me line this centrally, and then I'm going to turn it to me and just double check it looks straight. It does. It looks straight. However, the piece of paper on the front that I've glued on doesn't, so apologies for that. So yeah, you can see this front piece, I must have slipped it as I was gluing, because it definitely is not, that piece is not stuck on particularly well, so apologies for that. However, I'm going to hope to not make too much of a fuss of that. So now I'm going to glue the back of this, and I will glue this on. So I'm going to hold it, and I'm just going to bring it down and press it firmly. So I'm not going to let it flop all over the place. I'm holding it securely and bringing it down. That way I know it's going to stick exactly where I need it to. And I'm just going to hold that down. There we go. So I've allowed that a little bit of time to dry. It is a little bit tacky still, so just need to be careful. But now I'm going to move on to decorating the front. So I'm going to get out some, I've die cut, sorry, some butterflies just here, and I've die cut them from the Brilliant Wings die. So there's much more. There's a couple of there's a big outline of butterflies die as well that comes with this, and lots of other elements, but this is just the 5 butterflies. So I've done 3 of them. Done that one, and that one. So I've also heat embossed in gold to complement my sentiment, which says thank you. So I've used the Flowing Flowers stamp set, and I've used this beautiful thank you here. This is one of my favourite stamp sets from the mini that's about to retire, the mini catalogue. And it is, I think it's on the last chance list. It's not carrying over. I'm absolutely devastated. It'll be one that I'll be keeping because I just love the flowers, but I really love the scripty sentiments as well. So this happy birthday is one of my favorites, and also is this thank you. So I'll probably be keeping this in my little stash of stamp sets that I keep forever and ever. So yeah, this is a great stamp set, and it is on the retiring list. So that obviously prompts me to let you know that there is a last chance product sale currently going on. This video is going out mid-June, I think, so it'll be halfway through. So it ends at the end of June. So if you want this stamp set, please do hurry, see if it's still available. If you don't have a demonstrator and do want to shop Stampin' Up, I would be honoured if you chose me. Follow the links below to shop with me. Okay, so I've also used the new, these are called the Stylish Shape dies, and they've got, they're stitched, double stitched as well, so you get stitching on the piece that you cut out, but also on the piece that you leave behind. And I've used the square one. I've used the second one in of the squares for this sentiment. And I'm going to use this beautiful new soft polyester ribbon, and it feels so lovely. It feels really like, it's got like a gentle fluffiness to it. It's beautiful, and it's in petal pink, so that complements the colour of the cardstock that I've used. So I'm literally just going to thread this through, and I'm going to try and do a neat knot. Now there is a way to do a box knot, but I cannot for the life of me ever remember how to do this. So I sort of, it's a bit trial and error for me knotting. So I didn't want to do a bow for this one. I did want to do a knot. So let's see how we fare. Okay. So not the best knot tying, but there is my knot. I'll try and keep it as flat as I can, and I will trim it down a little bit. So I think I'll trim it this way, like that. And then this way, like that. There we go. So we have a little knot that's relatively flat, not completely, but it's flat enough for me. There we go. And then I'll put my thank you. I'll try and get that sort of centered there. Now I could put this up on dimensionals if we wanted to. However, my feeling is that this card is bulky enough without me adding an extra heightened layer of bulk. So apologies if you can see my head in the camera. And I'll just pop that on, and then I'll just make sure it looks straight. There we go. So I think that looks fine, doesn't it? So next I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on my mat. Use my clips, and I think I'm going to put this one, I'm just going to dab the wings into it, move it around a little bit, and make sure I try and get as much as I can of the adhesive on the back element. And then I just go off a little bit, make sure I haven't got too much glue on. And then I'm going to pop this one. Do I want this one going this way? Yeah, I think I'll do it this way for a change. So I'll pop this one like that. There we go. And then I will pop that down just like that. There we go. So that one's there. So then I'm going to open it up and pop one up in this top corner going that way. So again, make sure I've got a little bit more glue on here. And then I'm just going to, so we do have a product where you can die cut these out and you can put tape on the back, but I don't actually have that product myself. So it's certainly on my wish list, but I've got so much on my wish list that I do need to be careful. So I'm going to stick this one up in this corner. Try and keep it on the card. There we go. And then I'll just stick that down. There we go. That's quite sweet, isn't it? I like that. And then finally, this one, which I might put straight on this go. And then same thing applies, pop a little bit of glue just in here on my mat. So once this is dried now, I will take it to my sink and just put some soapy water on it. And it literally kind of comes off. The glue just comes off. It's amazing. I love my silicone mat. Use it for lots of different things, but gluing is definitely one of my favorite things to use it for. So I'm just going to try and put that roughly in the center and stick that down. Am I happy that looks centralized? Yeah, there we go. Oops. Yeah, my fingers are so sticky now. And I'll just press it down my bone folder. Press it down with my bone folder, as opposed to my sticky fingers, which have got glue on. There you go, move my silicone mat out the way, press it down, make sure it opens. Lovely, excellent. So that is the card made. Final thing is to pop some gems on here. And so I'm going to use the About to Retire polished dots. You can hopefully find these in the last chance sale as well. I'm going to use the pink versions because I've got the petal pink here. So I'll pop them just here. I'll pop one there, one big one, and then one little one next to it. There we go. So this is my completed project. This is my double Z fold card. As you can see, it does freestand. I've left this white piece of cardstock here for me to write my message. You can write your message on the back. You can write it directly on the back, or you could stick another piece of white cardstock on there to write it on. Completely up to you. As you can tell, I have decorated my envelopes like I normally like to do. So on these I've put some of the DSP on the envelope flap. Sometimes I stamp on it, and sometimes I even stamp a little bit on the front in the corner as well. But for this project I've chosen to put my designer series paper on the back of the flap as well, which I just think finishes the project off lovely when you're sending a card. It just finishes it off nicely. So I'd love to know in the comments which one of these you prefer colour wise. I'm actually not sure which one I prefer. I really do know that I prefer this knot to this knot, but you know, c'est la vie, such is life, as they say. Sometimes you get it good and sometimes it's a little bit more interesting, but you know, it's a handmade card. I love these polished dots. Very sad that they're retiring, but yeah, it would be, just remember that there is a retirement list, and I would very much love you to shop with me if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Please do follow the links below. All of the measurements will be in metric and imperial, so in centimetres and inches on my blog. Again, follow the links below to that. If you would like to join my team, there is a joining link as well below. I'd be delighted. So I am going to say bye for now, guys, and happy crafting.